Welcome to Nerd Jab number 6. Thank you for joining us. This week's episode, kind of exploratory in a way. We did have topics. We talked about Robert Pattinson as Batman and a couple of wrestling stories and things like that. And before you know it, we were kind of branching off into other subjects. And I got to tell you, because of that, this was one of the funnest episodes I think that we've ever recorded. It is very much like the conversations that we have when there's not microphones in front of us. So hope you enjoy it. We had a lot of fun doing it. So if you'd like to sponsor us, please go to nerdjab.com, find the information on there, or you can reach me, Joe, at nerdjab.com. Without any further ado, here's this week's episode. Enjoy. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How was everybody's week?
Good. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Anything exciting or noteworthy? Did anybody buy a car this week?
Nope.
I did get it to 120.
I haven't done that yet. Where are you doing that?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Country
Kids in the
roads.
back and everything?
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's
not
not
that
really a
dumb.
lot of places around here to do that.
I think
I'm not from around here.
80 so far.
Indiana.
Oh. And there's a lot of open roads.
You live like 25 miles away. It's really not that far.
I will say I've not gotten higher than 70 on the interstate or the highways.
Shit, I would not
And
want to
how
do it
did
on
you
the
get it
back
to
roads.
120?
Back roads.
You know, that's something I was always really freaked out about riding my bike on the interstate.
Oh, yeah.
Statistically, that is the safest
Oh,
place
yeah.
to ride the bike because you don't have as much of a chance of
Yep.
things turning in front of you and things like that.
You just have to worry about semis merging into you.
Yeah. But I mean,
Whenever I always went as fast as I could, I was on the interstate.
yeah.
That's what I did.
Oh, in a car, I'm
There's
fearless.
just too much traffic.
Well, it was in the
Especially
middle, I
this
think it was
last
the
week.
Middle of the night. I
Oh,
did like
yeah.
60 on 65 south. I did like 135 once.
Yeah.
Riding a bike actually made me more fearless in a car.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
I'm like, well, if I can survive all this shit with nothing around me. All right, let's get started. I guess we're going to start the same way that we've started the last few weeks, looking at Avengers Endgame and their box office total. So as of right now, domestically, they are now number 2.
Woo!
They passed Avatar for number 2. I'm thinking that's probably where they're going to stay.
Probably.
Because right now they're at 770 domestic. Again, Force Awakens finished at 936. So about 160 million they would have to make to beat it.
What did they make this last week?
This last week, you would ask me that.
I know John Wick had a really good opening
Yeah, it
weekend.
took over number one.
That's
Yeah.
that's the other part of it. This finally got dethroned.
Yeah.
Shit.
Have you watched it yet?
No,
I haven't either.
I haven't seen number 2 yet, actually.
I watched number
You can
2
watch
on
it.
TV the other day
Yeah.
and then went and found it.
May 17th through 19th weekend shows Avengers Endgame at 29 million.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen then.
About 29 and a half. Whereas John Wick Chapter 3 took in 57 million. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I think that the Avengers craze has finally dissipated.
Yep.
Still hung on to number 2, but it only beat Detective Pikachu by about 4.5 million.
Wow.
So, not a big gap there.
No, not really.
So that's one thing. It is not number 1 this weekend for the first time since its release. Also, I'm going to give you guys some really, really bad news. Worldwide, it's still number 2. Now, here's the bad news. It's probably not going to beat Avatar.
No.
At the
No.
rate that it's going, I mean,
Unfortunately.
if it sustained what they did this week over the next 5 or 6 weeks,
Right.
it could do it. Probably not going to happen. There's some fairly big releases coming out in the next few weeks. So, the dream was alive there for a little while, but it's looking less and less likely. So right now the gap, I think I did the math upstairs and it was like 144 million, I think it has to do.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, it'd take like 6 weeks.
and I mean, this is week 4. So I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
It did pretty well though.
Yeah. I'm not taking
Not
anything.
exactly a disappointment.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I'm not taking anything away from it. It's just, everybody was expecting it to be the highest
Right.
grossing film of all time. It looks like it's going to end up number 2 on both ends. So, still a pretty good. They got nothing to be upset about.
If you ain't
No,
first,
not
you're
at all.
last.
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, moving on. So I forgot to reorder my windows here. So we're going to get into some movie news. This is something that was sent to Discord and something that really caught my attention. We won't spend a lot of time on it, but Chris Rock has a new gig following in the footsteps of Jordan Peele, of course, a comic that moved into the world of horror. Chris Rock is going to reboot the Saw franchise with Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures.
Yep. Apparently, he went to
That-
the original
my lack of
producers
anything,
and talked to him, and they loved his idea.
Yeah. I mean, comics, I think that out of all creative minds, I think that comics make great decisions when it comes to all genres. Because, trying to find something funny about things that normally aren't, that really exercises mental muscles that none of the rest of us have. I'm kind of excited to see what happens. I have always said that the Saw movies, I'm not a big torture porn fan.
No,
Like Hostel
not at
and
all.
stuff like that. I never really cared for them. I think Saw is an exception just because
The first one. That's
No,
it for me.
I'll
That is
even-
it for me.
I'll put it beyond that. I will say the first 3 were top notch.
I stopped watching after 2. I liked 1. I really
One is a
liked
good
1.
movie.
Yeah, 2 was okay, but it lost my interest
Yep.
into the furthering franchise.
If I was going to pick a favorite, I would put it as a tie between 2 and 3. 2 and 3 were really good.
I think 3 was the first one I saw, and then I went back and watched the first 2.
Yeah. How could you make it through that movie without seeing the first 2? Because that's a lot of lost context.
He was just there for the
It
porn.
was. I went with a few friends to go see Saw 3 the first night it opened. So I mean, I was looking for something to do, and they're like, "Hey, we're going." So I was like, "Oh, why
I've
not?"
been there.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
first Harry Potter I saw was Prisoner of Azkaban. So
Really?
Oh, I was
Really?
there opening
Yeah.
night of the first movie.
I was too.
I think I might have been with you when you went to see that, maybe.
you might have. I just laughed at it the whole time because
What-
I was too cool for it then. and now
Now
I
you
love
love
it.
Yeah.
Was it a big group of people? Because I
Yeah.
remember seeing
Yeah.
one of them like that, and then one of the Star Wars. I think it was episode 2. I saw in a big group. I don't know if you were with us.
Yeah, probably
when
not.
We did that, but might have been episode 3. I don't know. One of them. Anyway, the thing with Saw, the 4th and the 5th movies were kind of weak. The 6th one was all right, and the 7th one was actually surprisingly really good.
The final chapter.
Yeah, what was supposed to be the final
I
chapter, and
forgot
then
they went that long.
yeah, well, and they went 8 because Jigsaw came out a couple of years ago, and that one was actually surprisingly pretty good too. The swerve, because they always have a swerve. It's almost like the M. Night Shyamalan moment.
Right.
Probably the most impressive beyond the first one. The first one you don't see coming from a mile
no,
away.
not at all.
Second place has to be Jigsaw because the trick in that one you don't see it coming at all.
You know what I love about Saw? Just the 2 I've seen, but the very first one had such a low budget, and it was all filmed in like one room.
Yeah.
Like the entire movie, and it was literally just one room. And the guys are like, "We don't have a budget for anything else."
There's a lot of suspense and tension more than just the torture porn of it,
Right.
which is why I enjoyed it more.
Have you seen the short film?
No.
You know it was based on a short film.
Uh-uh.
It was like a 15-minute long. I think that a lot of the Blu-rays and the DVDs of the first Saw actually have it with it as a special feature.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it was a concept film made by the guy who the guy who created it played one of the guys in the room, not Cary Elwes, but the other one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He actually was the creator of all of it, and it showed him in the scene with the reverse bear trap. In the first movie, Amanda is in the reverse bear trap.
okay.
In the short film, he is in that.
Oh, okay.
And the whole thing is told in the form of a flashback. He's being interviewed by police. And so they were like, well, this is kind of an interesting concept. Let's make a movie. So he kind of
Fleshed
expanded
out a
it,
script
yeah.
and yeah.
Lee
Okay.
Winnell. He has gone on to work on a lot of, I think that I think he might be working on Marvel stuff now.
Oh, wow.
Like
that's
he's
cool.
really moved on. Then James Wan, the guy who directed the first one, he directed Aquaman.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah,
and he
okay.
directed one of the Fast and Furious movies. So he's moved on to a fairly
That's awesome.
successful career as
Yeah.
well. But, you know, the other thing that really strikes me about the Saw movies is if you can get past the gore and the grotesqueness
Right.
of it all, those traps are actually quite beautiful.
Yeah.
The art direction in those movies is just incredible. You can tell that they really take special care in making it look, you know, it looks,
Realistic.
well, not just realistic. I mean, they all go for that. But the thing is, not just dangerous looking or diabolical or anything like that, but that it's like, oh my God, that is very visually striking. You know, it's not just blood and guts. That's the reason why Hostel never really impressed me.
Right.
Now, Hostel's always the one I go to because that was the first.
Knockoff.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like almost like, oh, Saw was successful, so let's go
try
make our
everything.
own.
Yeah.
And
I hated that one so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
that was awful.
The scene where they cut the Achilles.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I hated that.
every
one
time
too.
I think about Hostel, I think of that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the scene that bothers everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Absolutely
just
hate that.
there was no inventiveness there. There was nothing there that made it stand out.
Right.
Whereas with Saw, and Saw also took a lot of care into making a backstory.
Yeah. And see, that's what I loved about it.
Yeah,
The
very very
storyline was
layered story.
Great.
You know, giving it a history.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see what Chris Rock does with it. I think that it's a good idea to. I don't think they should continue with the current. I mean,
Just make a branch off.
yeah. Well, spoilers. Jigsaw Kramer has been dead since the third movie.
Right.
You know, that's the reason why I was like, you know, if they had left it a trilogy, it would have been almost perfect. When they said that there was going to be a Saw 4, I'm like, fucking how?
Saw 4, the quest for more money.
And it did. It made a shitload. I mean,
yeah, it does.
it's one of the highest grossing horror franchises of all time. And even though there's a lot of them, think about like, you know, Friday the 13th has,
Oh, yeah.
if you count Freddy versus Jason, there's 12. Mm-hmm. Nightmare on Elm Street, there's 9, I think. I mean, Halloween now there's 11. So, I mean, there's, you know,
Child's Play's got like 7 or 8.
yeah.
Wow.
And
New one
and
on
they're
the
getting
way.
ready to release a new one this year.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they're doing, you know, they're continuing the original canon in a TV series.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
yeah, I did know that. I heard that.
Brad
yeah.
Dourif is playing Chucky in it. So,
Interesting.
yeah, they're actually going to continue, which those last two Chucky movies, The Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, were actually tremendous.
Weren't those, or at least one of them was like straight to video?
Both
wasn't
of
it?
them.
Yeah, yeah.
I was expecting them both to suck.
I was expecting straight to video.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be horrible. But like, if you look, I know that you're like me. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't mean shit. But the thing is, I think those two were the two highest rated of all of them.
It could be.
And you know, they're really, really good movies. They go back to form. They're not.
I hadn't even seen them yet. I think I've only seen the first 3. That's it.
Take the time.
I think I've watched the first 2, and that was it.
I've got a box set up there. I think that has all of them, like even up to the last one. So
Yeah.
I'll let you borrow it if you. Well, do you have a way to play a Blu-ray? I know a lot of people
Yes.
don't anymore. You got an Xbox, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, everybody's got an Xbox.
Well, a lot of people are ditching
I've
their.
got 3 ways to play Blu-ray.
A lot of people are getting rid of their disc players because
Right.
they're going to digital or whatever. So I figured I'd ask. You know,
That's a good question.
yeah, it's a valid question now.
We've got a VCR.
I do too. I need to look it up.
So you were talking about James Wan because of Saw and all that. He is actually producing the new Mortal Kombat that's
Down in
either
South
getting
Africa.
ready to start filming or already started filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably suck.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
there's that.
yeah. So,
Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
yeah, Chris Rock. I think that's going to be exciting.
We'll see.
Let's move on to the big movie news of the week. Now, Brandon posted something about this in the Nerd Jab Facebook page, and I took it down. And the reason why is because at the time, the headlines were incredibly misleading. He didn't jump the gun.
I didn't.
It was
even
posted
see this.
everywhere.
It was posted everywhere, and it looked like it was the case. But the thing is, the headlines were saying this is happening, and then you would read the story, and it's like in negotiations and talks. Right now, it is still technically in negotiations, but I think at this point, it's worth bringing up that we have our new Batman, and
And I'm like the only motherfucker that isn't pissed off about it because
I'm not
nerds
pissed
get
about
so
it.
pissy.
I'm not pissed off, and I'll tell you why. First off, it's Robert Pattinson. In case anybody hasn't actually, in case you live under a fucking rock, and I don't know how you got this podcast. Here's the thing. I remember a time as young as I was when people were shitting their pants over Michael Keaton.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
Mr. Mom, Beetlejuice. They
Heath
were like,
Ledger is the Joker.
Heath Ledger's the Joker.
That's the
People
way I
wanted
remember.
Johnny fucking Depp
Yeah.
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
When they were casting Thor,
Crispin
people
Glover,
were
too.
pissed off that they did like two nobodies,
Yeah.
and Tom Hiddleston and Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have like what people were kind of surprised about Bryan Cranston and his, Malcolm in the Middle dad's gonna play this guy. You don't know.
Right.
Who
Give
did
it a
that?
shot.
Are you talking about him as
Also.
Zordon or?
No, as
No.
Breaking Bad.
Oh,
People
gotcha.
were like, "This isn't gonna
Oh.
work," kind of thing.
I thought you were talking about the Lex Luthor rumor.
No, that would have
Yeah.
been amazing.
Yeah, that actually would have been really cool. Okay, unpopular opinion time. I actually kind of like Jesse Eisenberg. I thought that it was different. I thought that it was kind of
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
He was the worst part of that
Well,
movie.
but the thing is, think about billionaires now versus back in the 80s and 90s. Back in the 80s and 90s, they were all middle-aged men who were, overprivileged.
Oh,
and
I
all
get
that.
it.
Now, the billionaires, the high-profile billionaires, are the tech guys.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
Yeah.
they're
he was just daddy's money though
yeah,
that took over the corporation. So
yeah. I mean, but
he was.
Aren't they all?
He was the worst part of that movie. Even worse than the Martha shit.
oh,
He was.
God,
I'm sorry. He
That was
ruined
the
that
shittiest
movie.
part of the movie.
why would you
No.
say such a Spence-worthy comment like that?
He was that bad. He was terrible.
I didn't think he was that bad.
I'm sorry. He is. He's Jar Jar Binks.
I don't think he was as bad as Henry Cavill.
No, not even.
I think that
Cavill's mustache.
Henry.
He's better. He wasn't even. Henry Cavill's mustache had a better role in that movie.
Well, first off, the mustache didn't debut until Justice League. Thank you. If we're going to be nerds,
Okay,
let's do it
then. I'm just
properly.
saying.
I think that Henry Cavill has the look. I just don't think that he's just so stony. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And whereas Ben Affleck, a lot of people shit on Ben Affleck. I thought that he made a great Batman.
I think he
really
did,
He
too.
did.
Ew.
I think
he
he
did.
Yeah.
And his Bruce Wayne was just awesome.
Yeah.
Especially the smoozy whenever he's at the party.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like those shoes. I love that. It was like, yeah, that's Bruce Wayne. I can buy that as Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
I don't know if I can buy Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, but let's.
We'll see though.
Yeah, I mean the thing is,
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
when the Heath Ledger thing broke, I had about 5 minutes of the fuck them attitude that went through my head, where I was like, this is bullshit. Like, why would they do that? That's just a money grab. There's no way this is going to work. The guy from 10 Things I
Right.
Hate About You.
That's exactly where I came from.
You know, the kid from The Patriot, that's who you got to play the Joker. Are you fucking kidding me? You've got Crispin Glover, who's probably, waiting by the phone, waiting for a call for this, because I think Crispin Glover would have been great. But,
Yeah.
Heath Ledger walked in there and just completely stole the movie.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to wait. I'm going to reserve judgment. I think it's risky. And I
I do
think
too.
that's fair.
He's gonna be better than Clooney and Kilmer. He's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Clooney made a good Bruce Wayne. He didn't make a good Batman. Val Kilmer made a okay Batman. Did not make a good Bruce Wayne.
yeah.
I think that's they couldn't do
I
both.
think he'll be better than
See,
either of them. So
The thing is
not a high bar,
no. Well,
but still,
I mean Christian Bale raised that bar.
yeah.
Christian Bale's
Significantly.
great.
And Michael Keaton raised that bar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would even say Adam West for the kind of Batman that he was
Right, right,
playing.
right.
He was great.
He was great.
Oh yeah.
None of them are Kevin Conroy though.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which we're gonna
Oh, you got something to talk about?
I'm gonna bust something out on that here in a minute. But the speculation that I've read, other than this, is that the two villains are going to be the Penguin and Catwoman. So apparently, we're getting a Batman Returns
Oh,
remake.
yeah.
I was gonna say, didn't we already do that?
Yeah, one. But you know what? We've done all of it before.
Give me
Yeah.
fucking Clayface.
Well, okay, let's make it. Let's get this
There we
straight.
go.
We didn't do shit.
Well.
we watched it.
Yeah.
And you didn't even watch one of them until the other day. You
Hey.
had 30 years.
Hey, we're talking about Catwoman and Penguin now. I watched that shit,
Which that reminds me, June 23rd, or Jab Live.
and I will be here.
30th. Yes, you are going to be
Nice.
here. So the only slacker in the room is Mings.
Mings.
And the
I'm
thing,
not gonna be slacking. I'm gonna be hiking.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, everybody deserves a vacation. It's fine. Which, by the way, I am working on securing a co-host, a guest host for that. So your seat will be filled.
Better
I
not
hope you're
sit in
okay
my
with
nice
that.
chair.
No, they're going to. I'm going to make them fart in it.
I was going to say, they better not fart in it.
They're going to make
My
their
farts
mark.
only.
They're going to make their mark.
You're gonna put a sign up. Justin's farts only.
I got the warranty. Y'all turn it in.
They're going to make their skid mark. Anyway, so that brings us to this week's top 5. Yeah, that's right. I got a top 5 for you guys.
top 5 skid marks.
Top 5. I'm going to win all 5 of them.
All right.
Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah.
Let's get Nate.
Oh,
He's the jerk.
Damn.
that's rough. Top 5 Batman.
Okay.
Are
Nice.
we including Lego Batman?
Any Batman.
Okay.
Any
Voice-
Batman.
Animated too.
Voice actor, movies, TV, whatever.
Sweet.
Well, don't start looking it up now.
Oh, I'm not. No, I had a message.
This is for next week.
Yep.
And bring the context, man. Tell us why. We've done a few of these. You know how we do.
Yep.
So I think that's all that really needs to be said about Robert Pattinson until we get a trailer.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows how he's going to do.
And most people just associate him with Twilight, but he's done a lot of other stuff.
And he
Yeah.
hates those movies.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sure.
he does.
Yeah.
He really does. It's hilarious.
I'm just gonna throw this out here though.
He had a
If the
contract
cowl-
and he got a ton of paychecks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to say they should just rename those movies Payday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ben Affleck's already got a movie called Paycheck. I guess maybe they thought it'd be
Yeah,
too
that's
close.
true.
Kevin Smith has a joke that he goes, yes,
Yeah.
and then he was in Paycheck, and that's exactly what that movie was for him.
Yeah.
By the way, Robert Pattinson is the second youngest actor to be cast as Batman.
Who was the youngest?
Christian Bale.
I was going to say that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Really?
Robert Pattinson is 33 years old. Christian Bale was 31
Wow.
when Batman Begins premiered in 2005.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
So he was barely out of his 20s.
Yeah.
So,
That's how numbers work.
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say that one of the other choices I think would
Fucking
make a really
dick.
good Batman too, and that's that Nicholas Hoult. He played Beast in First Class and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that series of
Be all
X-Men
right.
movies.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Warm Bodies?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was
No.
actually really good.
I
in
did
that.
like that one.
Yeah,
That's pretty fun.
I like Rob Corddry in that movie. Bitches, man. Okay.
He played
did
the
see
writer of
something-
Lord of the Rings in a movie recently too.
What?
That Nicholas Hoult, he played Tolkien.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Tolkien.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
I think that's his. What else did? You know what? I was thinking for a second that he played Q, but that was Ben Whishaw that plays Q in the new Bond movies.
Oh, okay.
They are very similar in build and everything like that. So, moving right along, we don't have a lot of topics this week, so more than likely we may not take a break.
Okay.
We're gonna just do this as a straight show. Although I will, actually I'm gonna change my mind because there's an ad that I want to do this week. So let's get on to some gaming news. This is really the only gaming story I have. I literally caught this. Me and Mings were sitting upstairs. I was like, oh shit. So I have not done this yet. Spence, you're going to be able to tell us whether or not you've ran into this particular issue if you've played it.
Yeah.
Red Dead Online is now out of beta. Of course, the masses are celebrating. I don't know how well it works. I haven't had a chance to play it since it went out of beta. However, something very strange has been happening on these online games. Do you know what that is, Spence?
No, actually, I have not played it yet. I have it ready to download, but I haven't downloaded it yet because I took it off my Xbox a long time ago because the beta was terrible.
This is courtesy Kotaku. Kotaku.
Yeah.
Kotaku?
Okay. Otaku?
That
Kotaku?
website. There are just randomly placed amongst the plains and the mountains random mass graves filled with piles of burnt horse corpses.
Wow.
Now, let me. Brandon's like, I'm going to buy Red Dead tonight.
for the ambiance.
Right.
You know?
Now,
That is great.
let me give you some context on how exactly this can happen. So, if you play, I've played Red Dead. I think this happened to me on the story mode. If there is a piece of ground that is on fire and you ride a horse through it slow enough, your horse can catch on fire.
Well, yeah. Like real.
Yeah, I guess.
Do the balls drop a little bit then?
It's getting hot in her.
Yeah.
Valid question.
That threw me off. So
horses catch on fire.
and the Kotaku page that has this story actually has screenshots. So this isn't bullshit. This is like their actual screenshots of just fucking
Turn that shit around. I want to
so
see
weird.
it.
Okay, so shit. I wish I could put it on there, but let me scroll up real quick. Like it's as horrific as it sounds. So here's the pile of dead horses.
Jesus Christ.
And then here's another one. But this, for some reason, this is the one that made me laugh. Just a field of them.
So people are riding the horses there and intentionally killing them.
I don't know.
Or could it be glitches?
They think that it may be a glitch.
Wow.
They think that because I guess that there was a glitch that somebody exploited where you could catch a fish and somehow multiply it in your stock. Because you can sell the fish, you can cook it, whatever.
Duping glitches are
Yeah.
like almost every game has had them at some point.
Yeah.
You find some kind of exploit.
Yeah.
And this happened, it was a newly discovered duplication bug, which allows players to catch one large fish and then use a method involving their horse, clone that fish into their inventory.
Probably put it in the saddlebag and withdraw it really quickly.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah. And then, of course, there's other like things that people have noticed, like there's not a lot of NPCs in the game since they went out of beta. And the idea is that they are turning off spawns for animals and NPCs to stop players from abusing any dupe glitch. But somehow that has turned into these mass horse graves, sponsored by Alpo.
Shit. And Elmer's.
I dated a girl once that had horses that she boarded just outside of town, like out towards Petersville.
Yeah.
And they had a horse there named Alpo.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I nicknamed one of her horses Purina. They fucking hated that shit. They hated it. I'm like, you named that horse Alpo. How the fuck?
Right.
How am I the bad guy? Like, you're the one that did it. Anyway.
You don't want to date horse girls.
No, I don't.
They're a different kind of crazy.
I know that now.
Yeah.
That was not fun. I'm not going to mention who it was.
Well, that's a good thing.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Anyway, let's move on to some wrestling news. Like, we are flying through this episode. This is going to be a short episode.
That's
So,
okay.
did you see Stan Lee's manager or ex-manager?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I forgot to put
that's
that
a
in the
good
run.
one,
Yeah. We'll talk about that, and then we'll go on a short break, and then I'll do the wrestling news because I do want to have the space for that ad. But let me pull up that story. Go ahead and tell the gist, and I'll pull up a story.
So the gist is Stan Lee had a manager that was actually just charged with elderly abuse and criminal confinement and
So basically,
fraud.
this guy was kind of like his power of attorney and
Yeah,
just kind
yeah.
of ran his life
Yep.
in his
And I think he'd been
state.
doing it for quite a while.
Yeah.
I have a story up here. This is
Likely since his wife died.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. This is Vanity Fair. And I mean, there had been a lot of stories that came out even before Stan Lee died about this guy.
Yeah, I had heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were
And
rumors.
and Stan Lee made I'm just going to refer to him by his first and last name.
Well, yeah, that's how it should be done.
Mr. Lee put out a video that said all of these rumors are false and all this. And it's like, on the face of it, you're like, well, he just said, everything's fine. So
Coerced.
but you don't know exactly.
You don't know what
Yeah.
happened to make that video.
You
which
don't
is
know
sad.
what kind of frame of mind he was in because
Right.
Stan Lee was old.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
in
he
his
was, yeah.
he was in his mid 90s when he died. So I mean, you kind of have to wonder exactly what was going on. But according to this article in Vanity Fair, Kia Morgan.
I don't know.
That fucking guy.
Piece of shit.
Yep.
He's a former memorabilia dealer who has been investigated for committing elder abuse against Lee since last year. 1 felony count of false imprisonment of an elder adult, 3 felony counts of theft, embezzlement, and forgery or fraud against an elder adult, along with an initial elder abuse misdemeanor count. $300,000 warrant has been issued for his arrest.
Wow.
So I guess they don't even have him in custody
Yeah,
yet.
okay. Yeah, I
as
didn't
of
know
right
that.
now. Now this is Sunday.
Right.
Who knows where it will be by the time this goes live. this is fucking sad.
Yeah, it really is.
Fry his ass.
Yeah, it makes it very, very easy for nerds to fucking hate this guy because, I mean, Stan Lee is the...
He's a national treasure.
You're right there, Tiger. Just punch
Trying to take my mic out.
It's like, fuck this mic.
Mike trying to take you out.
Even if you're not a Marvel fan, like everybody respects Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the world's biggest Marvel guy. I'm usually pretty aligned with DC. It's a hard life. But, but, you know, never would I ever for a second disrespect the name of Stan Lee. I mean,
Right.
the guy, you know, he's one of, if you were going to make a Mount Rushmore
Oh,
of
yeah.
comic creators,
Oh, yeah.
he would be on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a sick, sad situation, even if he was just
Yeah,
some
exactly.
random 90-something-year-old man.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it just makes it worse because this is a high profile, and that's what
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
it really sad is that shit like this probably
Happens
happens all
all
the
the
time.
time.
Yeah, 100%.
And,
Yeah.
and especially with older people that happen to be rich,
Yeah.
you know, because Stan Lee was
Very wealthy.
pretty well off now. He
Yeah.
went through a very dry period.
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah, along with Marvel.
Marvel was
Yeah.
not doing very well there for a while.
The 80s and 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, he was getting that Disney money.
Yeah.
By the way, how awesome is the bumper at the beginning of Captain Marvel, the Marvel signature
Oh,
that they use?
Oh, yeah, okay. I know what you're
I
talking
started
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even kidding.
You are such a bitch. You know, you like he says that all the
Everything
time.
Marvel, basically everything Stan Lee touched has a special place in my heart. So like seeing that memorial to him in the beginning of it, like I wasn't expecting it all. That of all the spoilers I saw before I went and saw Captain Marvel, nobody mentioned that, and it caught me off guard.
I feel you, Spence. It's okay.
He was crying and coming at the
Don't
same
let him
time.
bully you.
Yeah.
Shut up, Joe. That's usually how you do come.
Well, and I guess Stan Lee
Using
wasn't.
your tears as lubricant.
Damn. Continuing with Stan Lee. So I guess he also didn't even get to watch Endgame. He passed away
Nope.
before the
Yeah.
premiere.
Yeah.
Yep, didn't even get to see a first cut of it.
Yeah. He did get to read the script. Whenever they did his cameo on every show, every movie he's been in, every time they give him the cameo piece, they actually give him the whole script for him to read.
Yeah.
So he did have the script.
That's
He
awesome.
just wasn't able to make it long enough to. And it was very sudden. His death was very sudden.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, he's old.
no,
We get
no,
that.
he had-
considering
he
he's
had
in his
some,
90s, not really, and he wasn't even in the greatest of health
He
when
had some
he did
issues
pass.
a little bit.
Yeah, but
so
this was like he got sick and then
he was he
very
was gone.
immediately after he was
Yeah.
gone.
here's something else that we can kind of plug in to, you know, just fill some time because apparently I don't know how to build a fucking show. There is a campaign out for Robert Downey Jr. to be nominated for an Oscar for Endgame. Now, normally I would be like, this is never going to fucking happen, but the thing is, Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture this year. So,
Yeah. I could see
Yeah, but that
Endgame
was
being
like 300
nominated,
years
but I
of
don't know
guilt.
if they would nominate.
I am stepping away from that.
I mean, it was a good movie. It was great.
I just rewatched it yesterday.
But it wasn't an Academy Award winner. I'm sorry.
Well,
well,
I'm
it
just
didn't
saying,
win. It,
Well, I'm not. I'm
because,
saying then that's why.
because of Black Panther having been nominated for several different things. I think Endgame could be nominated.
Oh, yeah,
it won't
for
win
sure.
Best Picture.
No.
And I don't think any of the actors are going to win Best Actor or anything. But
Special
I
effects
think it
and some
could.
shit.
I was gonna say I think it could
Yeah.
get like special effects and maybe Best Score or something like that.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I think it was supposed to start this year, and I think it got pushed back to next year. There's a new category, achievement in popular film.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
I would imagine that it will definitely be nominated for that and could probably win.
That, yeah, for sure.
um,
But Best Picture?
No,
No.
No. I'm sorry. And I'm
And-
not even one of those people that, like, if you don't win it, who fucking cares if people
Right.
love your movie?
Yeah.
But it still has to have some kind of reverence to it.
a nomination though is
Nice.
a
Yeah.
pretty high level of
Yeah.
validation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's the reason why I got so pissy about The Dark Knight not being nominated.
Yeah.
Even though, you know,
If anyone should, it's that one.
it had, I believe, 8 nominations and won 2 awards.
yeah.
And that's also the reason why there's up to 10 slots for Best Picture now, is because of The Dark Knight.
Oh, wow.
because there were a lot of people that felt that it should have been nominated.
Yeah.
I also think that Christopher Nolan should have been nominated. So, I mean, I think that it's going to end up picking up some awards. It'll definitely pick up the technical awards.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. being nominated for actor, I don't know.
I don't think it'll happen.
He was good, but I don't
Yeah.
think he was Oscar good.
Do you think they would do it based on the signatures alone?
What do you mean?
So like,
Oh, no.
Based on the petition? Fuck no.
No.
Okay.
No, they have never kowtowed to popular opinion as far as that goes.
If it's on like one of those online petition websites, you can
Pretty much guaranteed.
bet that it's never going to happen.
Well, I bring this up because Game of Thrones has 1 million signatures to redo season 8 completely.
We'll talk
guess
about
what?
that.
That's not gonna
never gonna happen.
Well, you know what? We'll dive into that in a minute. Let's go ahead and take a break. Whenever we get back, we'll dive into that, and then we'll also get into some wrestling news. So until then, we will be
Sounds
right
good.
back. Hey everybody, Joe here. I just wanted to kind of break into the fun for a minute to let you guys know about something. A good friend of our show lost his 10-day-old grandson about a couple of weeks ago, and of course, we send our warmest thoughts and wishes to the entire family. But we also want to let you guys know that there is going to be a memorial benefit ride for Grayson. It's going to be Saturday, June 15th at the Blind Whistle in Edinburgh. That's at 8839 South US 31 in Edinburgh. Registration will start at 10:30 a.m. Kickstands up at noon. There will be music and food. Door prizes and raffle tickets are going to be sold and given out. So we just wanted to make you guys aware of this. This is obviously a very, very hard time for that family, and we want to show up. We're asking the Nerd Jab community to show up and show support for this family and help with some expenses that go along with this sort of thing. And hopefully we can see a good turnout there. Like I said about Cancer Sucks, if you have a bike, come on over. If you don't have a bike, come anyway. There's going to be a lot of things for non-riders as well. So again, that is Saturday, June 15th at the Blind Whistle in Edinburgh. Registration at 10:30 a.m. and the ride starts at noon. So be there, man. Let's show these guys some support. And also, if you are looking to, if for some reason you can't make the ride, but you want to show your support by donating, you can contact me. I will get you in touch with the appropriate people for that. And, hopefully we can help them out that way. And then if you don't have any spare cash you can throw their way, just share this. It is on our Nerd Jab Facebook page. And you can also search for it on Facebook. It is the Grayson, Grayson, Memorial Benefit Ride, hosted by Ryan Melanowski. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And now, back to the show. All right, and we're back. Hi.
Hi.
After cutting, this is our 6th episode. Can you believe that? 6 episodes?
I know.
It doesn't feel that long.
It's fucking crazy. After 6... This is going to be the 6th show that I've cut, and I noticed that whenever we come back from break, it's always awkward.
Yeah, well.
It's like we're recording for the first time.
It feels like the first time.
That's enough.
Yep, I'm good.
Feels like the very first time.
Cease and desist.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Okay, so
I
before...
think I sang it too horribly for them to even care.
Yeah, they're not going to recognize it.
Karaoke.
Those algorithms are fucked.
Yep.
It's like we need that guy to stop bastardizing
No,
our
that,
song.
that may be
We'll
true.
get sued by somebody else because the melody sounds too much like that instead of the actual song you're
Yep.
trying to
Yeah.
sing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so before we went on break, I'll let you take over because you were talking about Game of Thrones, and I don't know shit. So
Yeah, so season 8 is apparently abysmal. Over 1 million people have signed a petition to completely remake the final season. It started off with the episode 2 going forward, and it has been nonstop over social media that people just freaking hate it. I don't know why. I'm not caught up yet.
Do you want to know why?
Because they don't want it to end.
It's because people are bitches.
Well, that too.
well, this happens all the time.
But at the same point, the reason they have to do it is because it really should be 2 more seasons long. This one and a next one
Yeah.
to end it.
Yeah.
And then this season, at least, if not, it should be 10 to 12 episodes
Yep.
and not fucking 6,
Yeah.
I think is what it is. And so they're, they've still got 2 seasons worth to cram into 6 episodes.
Well, the complaints are it was truncated to 6 episodes, exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Perceived lack of care in editing. I mean, people have noticed Starbucks cups and scenes and everything.
That was actually
think
a
that
craft
is the
service
everything.
cup, by the way.
What doesn't matter.
I think that was the everything. I don't think, is there anything else other than the cup?
Just by this article by the Washington Post, it just says lack of care in editing.
Okay.
The Battle of Winterfell was so dark that people had a hard time seeing it.
Okay, yeah, but it was also at night against the White Walkers.
See, and that's what I thought too.
And
It's
then
like,
the dragon came along and lit
Lit
that
the
shit
fucking up, yeah.
Actually, no, it was the Red Lady. She came and lit that shit up with the Lord of Light.
And then people had a hard time seeing Jon Snow's indifference to his beloved direwolf ghost.
Yeah, I guess it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, so
The dog, the wolf, whatever it is, he's been gone for like 3 fucking seasons.
right, and then he comes back, and now people are upset about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's. I do like some of the memes where people are like, like it's showing the stuff that happens in a couple episodes later. That's a lot of CGI, and then it's like Jon Snow's face just looking like completely. I can't think of the word. Just like a blank
face.
stare.
Yeah.
And completely confused. And it's Jon Snow when he sees what happens, but he was told there was no CGI for him to pet his dog.
So yeah, over 1 million people want it to be remade.
Stop
Well, whether or
being
not it'll
bitches.
happen, I doubt it. But
It's not.
Let's be
as
honest. How many
great.
of those people are the same people with different emails?
well, that we don't know.
Who knows? They're all 5-minute emails.
Yeah.
So the last show that I had that was like a dramatic show that ended, there are still a few that I'm watching now that are that are still going in on the dramatic side, Stranger Things and things like
yeah.
that. Which, by the way, July 4th.
Yeah.
Can't get here quick enough.
So soon.
We are going to be covering that at
Yeah.
length.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
cool with
Hell
that.
yeah.
During the run.
I should go back and rewatch it.
during the run.
Yeah, actually,
all-
that's what I'm going to plan on doing. Is before July 4th, I'm going to be doing a binge watch of the last 2.
I'll try.
How about this?
We should all do it.
Well, yeah. I was talking about, I brought this up during a live stream and everybody was like, no. And I agree with you. Let's cut the seasons in half. All of us watch whatever half we're on.
Yeah, and talk about it.
And then come back and talk about it. We'll do a 4-episode stretch, 2 episodes for season 1, 2 for season 2, leading up to July 4th.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then I would like to probably cut the 3rd season in half whenever we get to it.
So let's start very soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As soon as I go on vacation.
Yeah.
For 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, I need to discuss that with you. I mean, 'cause we should probably do it before your vacation.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do it like right before,
Right.
We'll try.
So but I don't want to start it next week either. So we need to figure out exactly how we're going to do it. I'll work it out. But anyway, the last dramatic show that I did that with, that I noticed talk about the last episode was Sons of Anarchy. I was actually pretty happy with the way that Sons of Anarchy ended. I don't know if any of you guys have watched it.
Nope.
It's
No.
it's actually a great watch. You don't have to be a biker to enjoy it. It's got its low points, but it's actually a really good show. And since you guys haven't watched it, I won't spoil anything, but the way that it ended was pretty goddamn final. And there were a lot of people that had problems with that. And I've noticed that whenever it comes to any kind of show, sitcom, dramatic show, whatever, whenever it ends, you are always going to have a contingent of people who
People are
pissed.
never like anything.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And that's what I'm thinking. So about this, and to go back on the Sons of Anarchy, Amber did watch that.
Yeah.
And she was like, what do they think was going to happen? Like,
Yeah.
it's like a whole group of criminals. Like, it's going to be a happy ending kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah. And I mean, and the thing is, what's fucked up is it kind of is a happy ending. There is a lot of happiness to it, but there's also there's some casualties.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the way it is.
And so I'll say that about the season 8 of Game of Thrones. It's not nearly that bad. And I mean, there is a dip in quality in the writing, and some of the characters who had been building their story arcs. Jaime Lannister's kind of one that his direction was kind of changing, and it seemed like his character was going to kind of
shift towards-
grow and
yeah.
shift into something better, he kind of just right out there.
I think that's what
he
they're doing.
farted?
Just,
No, but his character
Okay.
basically did. But at the same point, I feel like they're having to scramble to fit everything in there, and that's what's gonna happen.
they shouldn't have cut it because
no, they definitely shouldn't
If they
have.
should have, if they kept it out to 12 like they were going to originally, I think they could have fit in everything in and had a pretty
I don't-
streamlined.
I don't think
ending.
it's that they're and people are saying, "Oh, they're just bad writers." It's not that they're bad writers.
They got to fit everything in.
There's nothing you can do to fix that situation.
I would rather
they're being they've written themselves into a corner
Yeah.
essentially.
And I would rather have a shitty ending than an ending that's never actually ended.
Yeah.
Because there's been too many TV shows that's
Also-
that's happened to.
So another one that kind of had that same kind of thing happen. I would say it's not even close to being this level of bad, even though it's something I still didn't think it was as bad as everybody said. Dexter.
oh, I love Dexter.
Dexter season 7 and 8, not great.
Right.
I kind of want to get Darren
after-
down here because she was a big fan.
After
of that
season
show.
4, which was the highlight, it kind of went down.
Yeah.
And it was just a gradual slope.
Yep.
I'd
agree with that.
But I still enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah.
Even the last episode that people hated, I was like, I don't like it, but I still had fun.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those, like, it's not going to be a happy ending. But at the same point, it was kind of some, dumb mistakes. But I don't think Game of Thrones is nearly on that level.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
not at all.
Yeah, and like I said,
Just
if-
not ideal.
It's worse to me. It's worse if a show gets canceled, but
Yes.
but wasn't actually supposed to
yeah,
be
yeah,
canceled.
yeah.
Like they just said, "Oh, we're done," and you're like, "Well, what the hell happened?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
I
rather
don't-
have a stupid, shitty ending than that happen.
Yeah, movies, TV shows, I don't like anything that leaves it open to imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I give me something. Tell me what
Yeah.
happened.
The reason
damn
I'm
it.
watching this is because I have no imagination.
Exactly.
So
That's
my
why I'm watching
all-time-
TV in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
My all-time worst ending to a TV series ever has got to be How I Met Your Mother.
I was just getting ready to bring that up, to tie it in with sitcoms because, it's not limited to drama. It's also sitcoms. One of the things you say you hated it, right?
Yeah.
Why did you hate it?
Because after all of this time, him going through the search to find this woman that was these kids' mother, like, as soon as you find out that they're going to be together, he's like, oh, yeah, and then, by the way, she died, and now I'm married to Robin.
I thought that was beautiful. I really did.
I don't know.
And here's why. Because the thing is, from the first episode that Robin is not the mother. They make that very clear in the first episode.
Yep. Well, they literally say that's not your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I met your Aunt Robin.
Right.
And the way that the show ended, spoilers in case anybody hasn't seen it, it's been several years
I
ago.
don't care. I don't like that show.
I love that show.
Mosby's a bitch.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Schmosby.
He's so annoying.
The way that it ended was, his wife ends up dying. And, the whole time he's telling the story to his kids.
Yeah.
And the story ends with his kids saying, why don't you call Aunt Robin? You really seem to like her. And he shows up to her house and, she's got all these dogs and stuff because she can't have kids. She's got all these dogs and it is implied that at that point they get together. I was fine with it because the thing is, just because he was telling the story about how he met their mother, he did that.
He finished the story.
He finished the
Yeah.
story. But the thing is, and maybe it's because I had a period of time where I had a single parent due to death. Eventually, those people have to move on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There can be love after death. And the thing is, I know that you think that Ted's annoying, and I can definitely see why you think that. I don't feel as strongly about it because I like the show and, all the characters and everything.
He is annoying, but
He
I said
is,
bitch.
absolutely.
I said bitch. He's
Okay,
a bitch.
fair enough. But the thing is, he was a good character. He was a good guy, and he deserved that happiness. And so, Jesus fucking Christ, you're an asshole.
No, I'm not.
So, real quick, it was nice to have that little contrasting point of view. I was. It's funny that he brought that up because the whole time I had How I Met Your Mother in the back of my head.
Yeah.
You know what? It didn't end like St. Elsewhere, so that's good.
I never watched that.
I didn't
And
either.
I've been told I need to.
I only know from the ending.
The fucking weirdest ending was, Bob Newhart had the Bob Newhart show.
Yeah.
And then he had a show called Newhart
Yeah.
in, I think, the 90s. At the end of that show, it was like everything in the bed and breakfast was just falling apart. All this weird shit kept happening. And then all of a sudden he screams and he wakes up and he turns on the lamp and he's laying in bed next to his wife from the previous show.
Oh, that's cool.
The whole thing was a dream. And it's like, really?
It's kind of like the Family Guy episode where they tied
Yeah.
on like Dallas and shit.
Yes. There was like an entire season of Dallas that was a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick, just to break up the monotony a little bit, we have a special guest in the room right now. And there's a reason why I brought her in. Mings,
Because
can
talked about Dexter.
can you share your mic real
I
quick?
guess, yeah.
Come on. This is my beautiful wife, Darren. Say hello.
Hello.
Get a little bit closer. To the mic.
Hello.
There we go. It's so weird having a female voice in here. Other than Spence's. He has kind of that. Well, I mean, he's got a higher voice. See? He's laughing. And So the reason why I brought you
I
down
have to
here.
talk like this.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Why you gotta make fun of me?
And now we're going to talk about.
Damn, I got turned on. That was nice.
Put it back in your pants. At least he's wearing pants today.
That's true.
The reason why I brought you down.
Always remember my pain.
I don't.
The reason why I brought you down is because we were talking about how Game of Thrones is ending tonight, and there are people that are pissed off about, and also there was some stuff spoiled, by the way, online about the ending.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why
It's the
people are
last
pissed.
episode anyway. Who cares?
They're not happy about the spoilers. That's the reason why they're pissed. That's how that petition started. He brought up Dexter and how there were some people that were upset about the ending of Dexter. How you were a Dexter fan. How did you feel about it?
It's been a really long time since I've watched that.
Yeah.
I wasn't as upset as a lot of people were about the end of it. To me, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And they left it open where if they ever wanted to come back and do more, they could.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't see a lot of that show, but I did watch the final episode whenever she watched it, and I noticed that it was very, very open. I mean,
Yeah, it was a great show.
it was almost like they were setting it up for a sequel series.
See, I thought they were. But
I'm
it's just
actually
never
pretty sure that they did a Dexter comic book under Marvel, and it was supposed to have been a continuation of the TV show.
happened. Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was all I needed.
Okay.
I wanted somebody with some context. Obviously we had his opinion. I wanted to get your opinion as well, and also have a chance to introduce you to everybody, because people have seen you on the stream, but they've never heard your voice. So
Okay.
you can go back
Yeah.
upstairs now. I love you.
The one where Joe thought she was downstairs 45.
Where Joe's an idiot.
So that's Darren. It was actually kind of pleasant to have somebody else down here for once.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'm not
Appreciate
talking about.
that.
It's not all about
Somebody
you.
other than Mings in the chair.
All I'm saying is we may have to get a fourth mic. Just for,
I keep bringing it up. Guess.
for guests and stuff. Yeah. I don't think there's ever going to be another permanent.
No.
No. But
I think guest speakers would be cool.
Yeah.
Get different
We
opinions
might
in
have to
here.
get a fifth.
Do what?
Oh,
We might have to get a fifth.
Then a 6.
Spence is going to come back.
That's right. Yeah. Well, let's bust that out. So, that'll add some material to the show. Hey, Spence. Have we announced that on the show?
No, I just
just
ruined
did.
it. I spoiled it for
haven't
everybody.
Really,
Spence.
figured everything out.
Yeah. Just to plug in the holes.
That's my specialty.
So
You're Joe.
we were watching.
We
Beavis
watched
and
like
Butt-
5 minutes of Beavis and Butthead upstairs before we started recording.
breaking the law. Spence, go ahead and bust that out. Tell us your news.
I'll be back in Indiana by the end of June, beginning of July.
Woo!
Nice.
I was the only one that applauded, Spence. Apparently, I'm the only one that's happy.
Because
about
everybody else hates me.
it. That's right.
Well,
It's more of a general disdain than anything.
You're just mad because I beat you at air hockey.
That's true. Fucking air hockey savant.
That is to this day one of the funniest things I've ever heard Ming say. We
I
were
just thought you brought in a ringer is all.
He's like, Joe doesn't really know this guy. He just wanted him to kick our ass this marathon.
Yeah.
That's great.
He just needed a fourth guy for his wedding. That was during one of our get-togethers for the wedding party when me and Darren were getting married.
That was?
Yeah, it was.
So
Because
long ago.
everyone was kicking my ass on
We
that.
had the most pathetic Fast and Furious lineup ever.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we were all in Pintos. Look at me and my Dodge Dart. So I don't know why. Dodge Dart is a perfectly fine car.
Well,
Yeah.
they weren't even made at that point.
I was rolling in a 95 Corsica.
Damn, boy.
I don't even know what I was driving at the time.
No, it was a Taurus. It wasn't a Corsica. It was a 95 Taurus.
I was driving the Escape at the time, actually, now that I think about it.
I was
just gotten
driving
the Escape.
Yeah, that sounds
The
right.
99 Venture, another minivan.
Yeah.
Minivan life.
Yep. Not
I
anymore.
think I still had the G6 at that point.
A
Probably.
lot of minivans. And
I did have a lot of minivans.
Past.
Not anymore.
But yeah, we all got together, and these guys had never met Spence before. Like, obviously Mings and Brandon knew each other, and then Perkins, the other guy that was in the wedding party. All of us knew each other from high school, so we, there was no introductions there. But Spence, I didn't meet Spence until about a year after high school, and it was their first time meeting him. Was that the first time?
Yeah.
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so.
And they decided to play some air hockey, and Spence just smoked that ass.
God,
yeah, he did.
He just
Yeah.
completely
Which
destroyed
was just,
Mings.
it just caught me off
Spent a lot
guard
of
because
time
I
at
like,
the boys club when I was younger. They have an air hockey table there.
I mean, you said younger, but how old were you?
I was like 10 or 11.
It was 2 weeks ago.
What-
Just kidding. Yeah.
while other kids while other kids were masturbating, he was working on those fine ass air hockey skills.
Yeah. There you go.
It was while Hanson was big. I remember that.
Oh, damn.
He was bopping his way into goal
Apparently
goal
so.
after goal.
That's right.
So yeah, I had been because I think we've been out a couple times just recently, and I was just whooping everybody else in air hockey, and I was like, holy shit, I'm good at air hockey. And then so I wanted to play when we got
Spence
to
is
the
like,
bowling
hold my
alley.
beer.
He was like, yeah. He came up with like his pack of quarters ready. He had like a little carrying case for his own little. He
had his little change
stick. Yep. Yeah, he got the change thing on
Yeah.
the side. Yep.
And a fanny pack.
Yeah, should have known. He had some fingerless gloves. Put them on. Got that shit ready.
He even lubed up his little puck.
Safety glasses and a leather helmet.
Like a headband on.
Have you ever seen Balls of Fury?
No.
Yes.
Patton Oswalt.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's this guy that he's just really, really good at ping pong. He's wearing like a sweatband around his
Yeah. He walked
I
in
was
and Back in
thinking
Black
either
started
him
playing in
or,
a bowling alley.
What's the guy's name that plays Bildo Treve on King of the Hill? It's Stephen Root.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stephen
yes.
Root from
Yeah.
Dodgeball.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. All dressed up.
And he
ready
whooped
to
my
kick some ass.
ass.
Yeah. Sadly, he wasn't. He didn't look like any of those things. He just looked like Spence.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
But
really
he's
big
Kind of
one.
like Bill Dotreve, more than anything.
But he did end up smoking Mings on that.
did.
Oh my god,
He did.
it was hilarious. It was funny, but Mings's reaction was funny. And where did you find this kid? That
Yeah.
was what you said.
Kind of air hockey savant.
Just pick me up
Okay.
on the corner.
Yeah. They just paid some homeless guy to come in.
And at the time, he did look homeless.
Did he still have the long hair at that point?
It was long-ish. It wasn't like long hair.
I
It
couldn't
wasn't
remember.
the longest.
No.
He had hair below just below his shoulders. at
Yeah.
one point.
Yep.
Okay, so back to the show.
Good
Real
times.
bad.
Yeah.
Good
That
times.
was a nice little detour, boys.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I do have a little bit of tech news here. So this is something that would probably interest Brandon more than anybody else. But
Take a nap.
Huawei,
Oh, yeah.
did you read about that?
I seen headlines. I didn't actually read any articles.
Well, to basically gist it, Huawei has been largely restricted in the U.S. for the last year
Yeah.
or so, just because of, I don't even know why.
Lawsuits.
Yeah, a lot of lawsuits, but I mean, maker of decent electronics. They
Yeah.
used to be a budget brand, but now
They've moved up.
Yeah, they have definitely moved up. I could probably compare them to kind of like Vizio.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Or
Yeah.
even Lenovo back in the day.
Yep.
Because I remember when they were selling Lenovo laptops at Aldi.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
now-
I like my Vizio TV.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Vizio
one of their
started
cell
off.
phones and it was one of my first like actual really nice phones, and
Yeah.
it lasted me a long time.
Huawei or
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I remember back when I was working at Best Buy, they had a really, really nice Android tablet.
Yeah.
And it was right when Android tablets were just starting to kind of,
Yep.
you know, right after the first iPad, tablets were starting to become
Blow up. Yeah.
Yeah. They were becoming consumer devices
Yep.
instead of things you saw in hospitals and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Anyway, Huawei, they got dealt another blow this week. They have lost their Google license.
Oh, damn.
So now, what does that mean? Can they still make Android devices?
Yes.
Yes, because Android is actually open source. Anybody
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
If I had the know-how, I could make a device right now and put Android on it, and it would be completely legal.
Yep.
However, what will be missing?
Play Store.
Play Store. It cannot have access to Play Store. Any apps that you put on it, you will have to sideload or download off of a website.
Yep.
Jesus.
Which, of course, is a huge security issue.
A gigantic security
Well, that
issue.
and like it's just something that not the average consumer is gonna want to fuck with.
Exactly.
Oh no. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I know how to sideload apps. I don't mind doing it, but the thing is, I still would rather get it from the Play Store. It's a lot
Yeah,
easier.
I wouldn't even know where to begin. I'd have to Google that
you,
shit.
you push a couple of buttons and you got automatic app updates and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's really
Easy.
Yes, it's much easy.
Wow. It's a big blow to
Ugh.
them. Wow.
Huge blow.
So what have they been getting in trouble for before then, and what's their issue been?
Honestly, I don't know.
Well, I'm kind of reading through. Well, here let me kind of give you some broad strokes. I'm not going to read it word for word, but this is
all
from,
right.
Yeah,
broad
I'm just-
strokes.
yeah.
This is from Android Authority because I saw it on, I think it was some general news website, but these guys get a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
Google has suspended business operations with Huawei effective immediately, a forced move that will have a dramatic impact on devices across the globe. So basically what this means is that they will immediately lose access to updates to the Android operating system and the next system of its smartphones outside of China. Now, in
Right.
China, they will keep their license.
Yep.
But outside of China, they will lose access to popular applications and services such as the Google Play Store and the Gmail app.
Might be a good time to buy some stock.
So where was that from?
That was from Android Authority.
From ARS Technica.
Yes.
Their very first, and I'm not going to be political. I'm just going to read exactly what this says.
Sure, yeah.
President Trump issued an executive order last week banning foreign adversaries from doing telecommunication business in the U.S. The move was widely understood as a ban on the products, basically.
Which that has been, and again, we're going to tread lightly on this because this is
Yes.
borderline political, but I think that it is worth noting. The tariff system, I
Yep.
think, is what is what's really affecting a lot of this. It's affecting everything. I mean, I read somewhere that Walmart is getting ready to raise their prices in general
yes.
because of these tariffs.
Yeah.
So, we're seeing. We have to kind of pull back from this
Yes,
because
A lot of
you know,
effects,
yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, and the only reason
affects
I
a
bring
lot.
that up is because that is the biggest reason.
I assume they're a Chinese brand.
Yes, they're a
Okay.
Chinese brand,
They are,
and
yeah.
the executive order basically says we're not going to do business
With China.
with China, and it's a Chinese brand, so
Yeah.
they can't have licensing in the U.S.
Thank God for my Korea shit. Yeah. My phone in my car.
It should be noted that Honor, which is a sublabel of Huawei,
Mm-hmm.
that has been really picking up a lot of traction. Honor devices have been very, very well reviewed. I watch
not
a
heard
lot,
of 'em.
I watch a lot of Unbox Therapy, and he reviews just about every Honor system that comes out, Honor device that comes out, and they're actually really great. They were getting ready to launch the Honor 20 on May 21st, which is this Tuesday in London.
And what is that?
It's a phone,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
but it's like nobody knows if that's going to happen now.
Yeah.
Well, if they're releasing it
because-
in London, though, what's that affect? The stuff here wouldn't really affect it.
It's everywhere. Well, that's the thing. I don't think this really has anything so much to do with the Trump issue, like you brought up.
Okay.
I think because they said that they're losing their license everywhere but China.
Oh, okay.
And what is that? Does it say why?
I mean, not really. Google has said that it is happening, and the Android Authority has reached out to both Huawei and Google, and
For a statement and nothing.
They've gotten no comment yet. I'm sure there will probably be more
Speculation coming soon.
Now, it also must be said that the Huawei released a statement earlier this week that it was against, and this is in quotes, quote, against the decision made by the Bureau of Industry and Security of the U.S. Department of Commerce, unquote. I don't think that this is a retaliation thing because, again, it's way further spreading than
U.S.
than the U.S.
Yeah.
But also, Google is not one to really kowtow to the government.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So, there's probably something else going on here.
Well, and just to also put this out, so Reuters actually claims that this will only happen to the next version of their smartphones and tablets. Presumably meaning that existing devices will continue to be able to use the Play Store.
Yes. And I would imagine that probably the Honor 20 is probably fine because they probably already got it out. It's already passed through inspection and everything. So everything that they've got coming out that's in the pipe right now is probably going to be able to release and will still have the Google license. But this is still a big blow to them. I mean,
no kidding.
Huawei has had an import ban in the U.S. for the last
Quite a while.
year or so.
Yeah.
It was big news whenever it happened because they were like, holy balls, like this is a huge supplier. And now all of a sudden they can't sell their wares in our borders. You can still get them here, but you're going to have to order them from a website.
Yeah.
They're going to have to go through customs, everything like that. So, I mean, it's not that hard to get one, but you just have to jump through a few more. Yeah. You're not going to be able to buy it on Amazon.
You're not going to be able to go into a store and get it either.
And then same website, and I'm going to quote this move is a death sentence to them, to their smartphones in places like Europe and India, because all they can sell to is China now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I could see their patents being sold off very soon.
Yeah.
That's probably what the next step is. So here's some
That's
speculation.
crazy.
Who would buy them? I would probably put my money on Lenovo.
Probably.
Because Lenovo owns Motorola now.
Yeah.
So they can
sweep them up. They're going to get cheap.
That would be a smart move.
Yeah. And they will get it cheap.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to buy a Lenovo smartphone, but they're okay with buying a Motorola.
Right.
Regardless of who's making it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are probably not a lot of people that even know that they own Motorola.
Right.
So I could also see maybe Nokia picking them up.
Yeah.
Because
I could see
Nokia
that.
is no longer, the Nokia that exists now is no longer owned by Microsoft. Microsoft spun it off.
Right.
So they're making Android devices now.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But they are not built like they used to be.
No, not at all. So let's move on to some wrestling news.
Well, I have another piece of tech news if we want to talk about it.
Sure, yeah, man.
It's Sony and Microsoft announced that they're partnering to build a better cloud-based gaming experience.
I
Your
meant to
rundown was shit.
I know, dude.
You
I meant
so much good stuff.
Well, the thing is, all week I was plugging things into my keep notes. And for some reason, I saw, I was like, I should put that in there, and got distracted or something. So, and if I don't write it down or put it in my keep notes, I will forget.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
Same way.
well, I'm doing 5 or 6 different things here while everybody else is talking. So I'm not going to remember shit as easily. What? Do you want to do this?
No, I
Come
don't.
on over.
Look at him getting all
Let me bring.
defensive.
No, I'm not defensive at all. No, you're just a prick.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm hoping one of two things maybe possibly comes from this in the future. I know it's not going to be anytime soon, but the cross-platform will be an actual thing that will exist because Sony right now still it doesn't play nice with too many people, and or maybe exclusives won't necessarily be a thing if they're going to work together and use the same cloud-based gaming server.
I would say the cross-platform looks a lot more possible now.
Yeah.
I would say there's still probably going to be some exclusives.
Yeah, that I could see. I mean, because there's just going to be some shit that Sony's going to want to keep to themselves, and Microsoft for that matter.
Yeah.
That's true.
You are definitely right that Sony is not known for playing nice when it comes to cross-platform. It's usually been
They
Xbox.
do have a history of getting burned, though.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I
remember Nintendo did them dirty. So
well, yeah, but I mean, but Xbox didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
And maybe
that might be why.
And maybe that's the reason why Nintendo is not mentioned in this, because I can tell you right now why they're doing this. It's very simple. Stadia.
Yeah.
They're going to compete with Stadia. Stadia is going, right now there are cloud gaming services out there. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I told these guys, I did procure a NVIDIA Shield, something I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Great for emulation, by the way. It's fantastic.
For games you own.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I own all of those games. But
What?
I don't know, man. I don't know why that threw me off. I'm very, very easily thrown off right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, bringing it back to cloud gaming, I got accepted to the GeForce Now beta, which runs remarkably well. I have only played it on the NVIDIA Shield. I have not done it on any of the PCs. They don't have it on phones or anything like that. They only have it on PC, Mac, and NVIDIA Shield because that's NVIDIA's device. I have not tried it on the PC because the only Windows PC that I run, I usually keep down here. It's this one right here. The production machine, which I do use for other things occasionally, it's running Linux, and then upstairs I use a Chromebook all the time. And I can't imagine that you're going to see a GeForce Now app on Chromebook because not with Stadia.
So you have to run it through their app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not browser based. So I mean, and also I was on the Stadia beta when it was Project Stream, and I mean, there's definitely a really good future in this. This is the future of gaming.
Right.
We're going to see way less emphasis on hardware. The hardware is going to be on a server farm somewhere. But the reason why they're doing this is to compete with Stadia, and they know that Google is a giant, and even though they are just now getting into gaming, they're coming in with a lot of steam.
Yeah.
So
it's not like they think they're going to stumble.
Yeah. And so the two previous giants, well, they're still the giants.
Oh, yeah.
They're not
They are.
there,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But saying that they're going to team up on this next generation.
It's not like, David coming to fight a couple of Goliaths.
No.
It's just a new Goliath.
Yeah. It just turned into a triple threat.
Yeah.
That's all it
exactly.
is. So I think it's both healthy and dangerous at the same time because, I hate fragmentation. It's just more systems I have to buy.
Yeah. No
Yep.
kidding.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. If we're going all streaming, that's the whole point is you won't have to buy anything.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I mean, I'll have to buy a controller. But
Right, yeah. But
I don't even.
that.
Well, yeah, I don't have to. But the thing is, more than likely for Stadia, if I'm wanting to get into it, I will probably buy their controller.
yeah.
Because I do like the idea. I have, like I said, the NVIDIA Shield. One thing that I kind of got a taste of that I'm kind of getting drunk on is being able to have Google Assistant on the controller because the Shield button on the controller brings up Google Assistant.
Nice.
It's pretty fucking sweet. And I can turn my TV up and down.
I have a remote for
nice.
that.
I love that thing. So it's a lot of fun.
What if Microsoft and Sony were to make like a console together that when you bought it, you had the choice of either buying it as an Xbox or a PlayStation, had a code to put in, and you basically buy like a license for that console, and you can buy the second one later at like obviously whatever markup they'd want to put since you already have the console. You're just buying the software or whatever
To
and
run
then you
the
can play both
exclusives.
on the same one.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
No.
They make too
Yeah.
much money on their individual consoles.
Yeah.
Well, not really. They usually, in the beginning, they lose money.
Well, yeah, in the
They're-
beginning.
They're making more money on the software.
Eventually, I wouldn't say that could never happen, but I just could see there being no exclusives before I could see that kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would just make more sense from just a logistical standpoint, I think.
And I think that it would be kind of pointless at this point just because of where cloud gaming is going
Yeah.
or where gaming is going
Yep.
towards the cloud. But I mean, also, we kind of tried that once with Steam boxes and things like
Right.
that, and that never really took off.
Yeah.
Because a lot of PC gamers, because those ran PC games,
Yep.
they didn't have exclusives or anything like that, or like you buy one copy and you can only play it on that. It was a PC game, but it didn't have enough horsepower. one thing about PC gamers is that they have to have the best of the best.
Oh yeah.
To get the newest games, yeah.
That's why I'm glad that I dabble in PC gaming, but I'm not really a hardcore PC gamer because
It's expensive.
I spend less money. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I have a $500 box up there that I put in a game and it fucking plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy a new video card
Every
or,
year kind of thing. Just
Yeah,
to play the next greatest game on ultra graphics.
yeah, and I don't have to depend on the whims of these fucking crypto miners who are driving up the prices of
The graphics cards. Or if you want to go cheap and get a graphics card off of the marketplace, you have to worry now about the cryptocurrency miners all the time dealing with it.
Yeah.
Are already ruining them, basically.
Well, it is starting to come down.
Yeah.
I think the fad is past. 'Cause-
Well, Bitcoin itself, it's not functionally or economically or basically it's not worth it anymore.
no.
To get one
Viable.
Bitcoin, yeah, it's not viable to put you're spending more money in electricity than you are going to get.
I can make the argument that it never was.
Oh, it was.
It was.
no,
It certainly was. It was never going to be a long-term solution.
It was
but-
the definition of a bubble.
Yes,
there were people
exactly.
who were
Oh, yeah.
saying there were people who were saying I can retire on this shit.
And some
You-
did.
Some did.
I don't know.
If you
There were-
cashed out right.
Well, in fact,
You got in right and
there was
cashed
a
out
pizza
right,
shop.
yes.
There was a pizza shop down in Florida that when Bitcoin first came out, they accepted Bitcoin and they held on to it because at that point it was like Bitcoin was worth like 40 cents or something. So
Yeah.
people would spend 200 Bitcoin on a pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
And they held on to those and then sold them whenever the bubble was about to burst.
Yeah.
And ended up
For
being
maybe
millionaires.
millions, yeah.
it was new age day trading, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Well,
sure.
but
yeah.
I mean, it was a long haul. They held on to it for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I
yeah,
mean,
it
it's-
definitely wasn't, an
It wasn't
overnight
wi-
thing.
yeah.
But, it kind of the rise of it and the
Yeah.
popularity was kind of overnight. But it was definitely,
It was around before people knew about it.
yeah, it wasn't a complete sham.
Yeah.
It was definitely something that people made a lot of money
And I
on.
think it really
But
paved
a lot of
the way.
people also sunk too much money into
Yeah.
something
And
that
now there's-
got them nowhere.
There's so many other cryptocurrencies out there now
Yeah.
that it's not even worth it.
It's so
Yeah.
heavily fragmented
Yeah.
now that, yeah.
But it did pave the way to electronic currency. I do feel like paper money is eventually going to go away, and that's where we're going to be.
Well, I mean, we've been on the way towards that for a while
Yeah.
because, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
the thing is, they were wanting to create something that was completely anonymous and everything. And maybe this is going to piss off a lot of libertarians, but this isn't a political podcast, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm one of those people that if you have nothing to hide,
Right. Yeah. I'm
then
the same
who
way.
cares? I use my debit card like crazy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Yep.
like carrying cash
I never
on
have
me.
cash.
People are like, what if they steal your debit card? Then I can call the bank and get that
Get a
shit
fraud.
shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that card is worthless.
Yep.
That's
At this point, identity theft like that, it's such a common thing that it's not a hassle. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're taken care of within like the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the other thing is, what if you get fucking mugged?
Yeah.
And they take all
Yeah,
you, and you got
exactly.
$500 cash on you. That $500 cash
Gone.
is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You
not
have-
insured.
Yeah, you have no way to
Yeah.
get that back. Whereas if somebody grabs your debit card number and charges $10,000 worth of charges, or your credit card number or whatever,
Good luck with that.
yeah, no shit. You're gonna have a bad week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. But the thing
But you
is,
got your money back.
yeah, exactly, because the FDIC insures that money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the money is in someone else's vault. So I think electronic currency is going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen the way that it happened with Bitcoin and all of
Oh,
Right.
that.
No.
Yeah. And well, the thing is, the whole point of Bitcoin, like you said, was to be anonymous, right?
By the way, this is such a weird place we ended up.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
But
It
I'm
is.
liking it. Go for it.
Well, like you said, it was to be anonymous whenever you're making purchases.
Yeah.
It's still heavily used on the dark web. I don't know how
It's
I know.
still
but-
heavily used on the regular web. I
Exactly.
mean, there's a lot of places. It doesn't Tiger Direct, either Tiger Direct or Newegg,
both
except
still use Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the point of it was that you can't track what you're buying.
yeah.
With debit card usage, I'm at Target. And then all of a sudden I never signed up for this, but resident.
Marketing and stuff.
Yeah, it's for marketing.
Yep.
And they're getting your address from your debit card. You're getting that information and they're selling it off to third parties. That's why Bitcoin was originally started, not for nefarious reasons.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't care. Send me some really good coupons. Do it.
I think that's one of the rare places where the government should step up and start regulating that kind of shit. Make it illegal
Yeah.
for them to do that. yeah, I swiped my debit card. You got my $10.
Right.
You
Leave me alone.
You earned that $10. You do not get another fucking dime out of me until I need something else from
Right.
you. By the way, I just wanted to let you guys know, just, a brag. And if you can do this, get on it. But Cartwheel on Target, they had season 2 of Stranger Things on Blu-ray. I've been collecting them, because I love the box art. They had it on sale for $10, and then I got a 50% off coupon on Cartwheel and got it for $5.
Nice.
That is nice.
I'm looking for the 4K. I don't have the 4K. I only have the Blu-ray, but I've got both of the season 1s and then that season 2.
Well, speaking of Target and our previous comment,
Yeah, sorry.
it actually folds out pretty well. So the whole point of me bringing this up was, so there was a 15-year-old girl who had one of those debit cards that are meant for kids that took to the bank accounts.
Yeah.
Well, she went to Target and she bought a pregnancy test. And then Target started sending her baby coupons to her mom and dad's house.
Oh, no.
And that's how they found out she was pregnant.
Ruh-roh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
See, and that's the reason why that shit should be regular.
Well, and it caused a huge issue, and Target had to revamp their advertising marketing policies.
Yeah, how about you revamp it like this? Don't fucking do it.
Right,
Like
exactly.
just stop.
If I sign up for your coupons,
There's a bigger issue there that we don't need
Yeah.
to get into.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's still a shitty practice.
yeah,
So,
it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on. God, I liked that. That
was
felt
fun.
more. That felt more like a conversation that we have outside of
Yeah,
this room.
Yeah.
exactly.
So, anyway,
Where we're just sitting around and we don't do anything, and then you look up and you go, "It's fucking 3 a.m."
Yeah,
Shit."
exactly. Right.
yeah. Luckily, it's not that right now. I'm looking at the time now. You got me wondering. Okay, let's get to some wrestling news. So we just have 2 stories. First off, it should be mentioned we don't normally mention deaths on the show. It's probably going to become a regular segment. But I don't want to steal that from Hollywood Babylon. They have a thing called Tinseltown Stiffs. I don't want to do that.
No.
But this is notable. Ashley Massaro, who was a wrestler during what they call the Ruthless Aggression era,
Yeah.
which was the area that
After the Attitude.
immediately followed the Attitude era. I'm sorry, my mouth is very dry.
Mine too.
She passed away at 39.
Yeah. I saw something today that, and I don't want to, spread rumors or anything, especially about something, so serious. But it's an apparent suicide.
Yes, I did read that.
Yeah. Which is sad.
Yeah, very sad. And unfortunately, not an original story.
Yeah, it's tragic. And the way I feel about it is, I do enjoy their product. But there are some issues in the whole business model of wrestling. And that kind of falls squarely on WWE at this point. They're really the only kind of big man on campus there.
Yeah.
And
For
I
now.
think if you watch, there's John Oliver did a really good episode on it.
The week leading into WrestleMania.
It really just needs revamped. It needs a change.
Yeah.
People need taken care of.
She was very talented, very beautiful.
I'm not
too.
familiar with who she was. So.
She was around.
That was the
for-
era when I was.
That kind
I
of
was
got away
gone.
from it.
Yeah.
She was only around for about 3 years.
Yeah.
She, according, and I've got Deadspin up. She performed between 2005 and 2008. She was the winner of the Raw Diva Search. They did.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And she also competed for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 23 in 2007. So I mean, she's got some accolades.
She wasn't just there for a minute and then gone.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's also some, a little bit of a seedier side to it, as you hear with a lot of these wrestlers. She sued WWE in 2016, and I'm reading directly from Deadspin, accusing the operation of a whole range of health and safety abuses and oversights, including the alleged mishandling of a sexual assault incident during a company trip to Kuwait in 2006.
That's sad.
So it looks like she was sexually assaulted. Now, I don't know who did it. I don't know if it was another member of the roster. I don't know if it was someone else there. Who knows? Doesn't really. I don't want to say it doesn't matter because it does.
It definitely does matter, but it doesn't matter in talking about her, death and it being tragic. And
I would
being
rather
sad
focus
for
more
that
on
fact.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, she was she did accomplish a lot. You know, she suffered a lot of injuries. Hairline fracture to her spine, 2 herniated discs, and an ankle fracture that required the insertion of a 5-inch metal plate to repair.
Now, if only she
Ouch.
was an employee.
Uh-huh.
If only she was an employee.
Yep. Yep. I mean, that's, you know, that does bring up that bigger issue. You mentioned the John Oliver thing. I think that this particular issue is going to bring up, you know, much like the whole drug testing thing, you know, it was a big issue. And then the Chris Benoit thing happened. And then it became the issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is going to prove, you know, that these people, they are in great shape. They can do amazing things. They can do extraordinary things, but they are still human beings. And they break. And unfortunately, she broke.
It's sad because I mean,
it is.
And if something that, you know, something is sparked and some change as far as you know, the way wrestlers are taken care of, you know, in their jobs, it's at least not in vain, and I think it's something she'd be proud of. Yeah. You know, and hopefully that does become the case because, you know, it's always said you see wrestlers that die too young. I mean, what, Roddy Piper was like 61, something like that.
Yep.
And that's too young. But at that point, you're kind of like, oh, well, he just died early kind of thing.
I mean,
probably had a hard life, but it's somebody at 39.
Look at Brian
That's
Pillman.
a completely different thing, yeah. But that was a different time, too, so.
Yeah. And the fact that it's still happening now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's really, really sad about this. I mean, you know, her career ended 10 years ago, 11 years ago. But, I mean, you know, she just passed away. So, I mean, that shows you how long-reaching these
effects
issues can be. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, also take Eddie Guerrero, for example. You know, he had years of drug abuse, and he was sober for a long time and still died of a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
After being sober for something like 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these things take a toll. So, you know, hopefully WWE is listening. Not to us, but they're listening to this.
Yeah.
But if you are listening to us,
Yeah.
we need a sponsor.
Fuck you, Vince.
Well, there went that.
Hey, AEW. Hey, AEW.
All right, AEW, if you're listening.
Yeah. We're I love you, Cody. We're going to talk about them in a minute. But yeah, it is sad. And, you know, hopefully, like you said, hopefully there's some sort of positive thing that can come out of this. You know, and it's a shame that it takes something so tragic and so unfortunate to make it happen, especially if it doesn't.
It shouldn't be something that, you know, something like this has to happen to spark that kind of, you know,
the thing
change.
Is, this happens everywhere, though. This just gets more limelight because she was a celebrity.
No,
that's really bad.
I get what you're saying.
Have you seen the John Oliver sketch or the John Oliver piece about it? It really just kind of shows you. It's a quick little thing. It's probably 20 minutes.
Yeah,
for the episode.
It's about 2/3 of his episode,
and it gives you a really good, just kind of not so much in depth, but it gives you a good rundown and some good information as far as how wrestling is especially bad for.
Oh no! I'm not talking about wrestling in general.
Okay,
I'm talking about if rumor is true that it's apparent suicide stemming from things that happened before. It happens. That happens all the time, and.
Yeah. You're speaking about mental health being an issue.
Yeah.
And overall. Yeah.
She had documented mental health issues, but I think what he's trying to say and what I definitely agree with, and I'll show you the clip before you leave tonight.
As far as sports goes.
Yeah. Well, sports, but especially professional wrestling. I mean, it's apparent in football as well with a lot of the CTE issues.
Yeah. But the NFL is definitely not where they should be taking care of that, but the
Agreed.
Wrestling is on a whole other level.
Yeah. Lower level.
Right. It's definitely like it's just a much worse situation for their talent.
Bret Hart said something, and I don't know if this is really, this may be a little bit extreme, but the way that he put it is Vince likes to play with his toys and then throws them away when he's done.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's really
a very known callous man.
Yeah, I mean,
but
Bret Hart is known for.
There's some truth there.
Yeah,
he's definitely not wrong.
I think that it's a lot easier for Bret Hart to be pissed off at Vince McMahon than anyone else.
Yeah, he has a lot of reason to be
But also,
off.
you know, he lost his brother at a young age because of a stupid stunt. And, you know, and this is rumor and innuendo, but Vince McMahon didn't want to pay the union. to take care of it. So they got somebody who wasn't as experienced, and it's speculated that may have been why.
Wow.
So again, that is alleged. I don't want us to get sued, but he has a lot of reasons to be bitter. But I don't want to say he's wrong, but that might be a little dramatic.
Yeah.
The last thing, let's go to some happier stuff. So Ashley Mazzaro, we're very upset to hear about that, and hopefully something good comes of that. Now, AEW. We mentioned last week that it was unofficial at that time. Now it is official. They did announce that AEW is bringing wrestling back to TNT. As a matter of fact, TNT on Twitter at TNT Drama is their tag. Put up a graphic of fire, and in front of it was the AEW logo with the TNT logo, and it said, "We're back in the wrestling business."
Nice.
I love that tweet.
So it was still very much speculation, even more so, because it was pretty much a done deal.
Yeah,
Everybody
pretty
knew it was
much.
going to be TNT when we talked about it last week. But at that point, the speculation was much more of a speculation that they're going to do it on Tuesdays. Have we heard anything more about that?
No.
Okay.
And at least not that I can see. And to be fair, I'm going to go back and watch the presser because they did. AEW showed up during the upfronts and they did a big presentation. Like TNT is really embracing wrestling. They wanted to distance themselves from it for a long time. But
Well, they got burned.
and the fact that they put "we're back in the wrestling business" because that acknowledged WCW.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Without having say, they can't say it because
don't own
WCW is owned by WWE now.
Right.
But the fact that they said it's
back.
back,
Back.
we are back in the wrestling bit. I love that. But we learned some other things, and one of those things is that TNT is not going to be the only home for AEW on weeknights. Bleacher Report Live will stream the show weekly.
Wow.
Which I think is cool.
That's
is
really
fantastic
cool.
Because we
I don't have cable.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, it used to be that getting a cable show, getting a spot on that expanded your reach.
Right.
It doesn't expand your reach as much because our generation is not buying I don't have cable.
I don't
Do
have
you?
cable, no.
Yeah. We all have internet.
Right.
But we don't have cable. They are going to be showing on there, and I'm pretty sure it's free.
That's awesome.
So that's a
That's
pretty
what I'm
big
gonna
deal.
watch.
Also, Bleacher Report Live is going to be the home of Double or Nothing. That is how you watch it
Nice.
in the U.S. They're also going to have it on Fight TV, but I don't think they're going to have it here.
And that's
At-
one of
on
their
Fight TV.
pay-per-views, correct?
That is their first pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Unless you count All In, which All In was
More of a
kinda-
test than anything.
Yeah. And they passed.
Yeah.
Holy shit, did they pass. We were watching before you came. We were watching Starcast, which is they do Conrad Thompson, who does some wrestling podcasts. He does one with Bruce Pritchard. He does one with Eric Bischoff. He's got a bunch of them.
They don't know who those people are.
I know who Eric Bischoff is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bruce Pritchard was
Brother Love.
He was known as Brother Love on screen, but he was also a former
Big behind the scenes.
VP of Talent Relations for the WWF.
Oh, okay.
So he was a big wig. They do these series of panels that they do as kind of like podcasts, but they're video panels. And last year they did them in Chicago leading into All In. They're doing Starcast 2 this coming week in Vegas
Oh, nice.
for Double or Nothing. So
That's next weekend,
Just
right?
some content,
the-
basically.
Yeah, by the time this goes on, they should be starting. So we can watch those live. They are going to be on Fight TV.
Sweet.
I think it's $15 per panel, or you can buy a weekend pass. You can buy day passes or weekend passes. The weekend passes are $60, which is actually a vast improvement because last year it was $100.
Wow.
Yeah, now you can watch them for free because they've got them all on Fight
Last
TV
year's.
for free. Last
Yeah,
year's,
yeah.
and then, of course, Double or Nothing is on Saturday night, I think starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. So they are not sponsoring us, but I'll plug them anyway because I want that thing to be successful.
Yeah.
Because we need competition.
And that's going to be on Bleacher Report Live.
Bleacher Report Live. And then in other countries, at least it'll be on Fight TV, but I don't know
Cool.
if they're going to have it on Fight TV here. So it's been kind of weird. Also, Dish and DirecTV, if you are one of those people that do have satellite, they are going to have it on their pay-per-view. I think it's like $50.
Okay.
So, which is in line for a wrestling pay-per-view. That's
Yeah.
what we used to pay before the days of
Yeah,
the WWE
right.
Network. I was like, I'm going to buy this pay-per-view. I'm like, Jesus, it seems so expensive.
It was the
but-
days when you had to like chip in with people.
Yeah,
No
like 15
shit.
people come together. Yeah.
I thought about doing that, having everybody pitch in. And I was like, meh, just bring food. That's
Yeah.
all I ask. Because you're planning on coming, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Are
come.
you going to come?
Should.
Okay. It would definitely be worth checking out at least a little bit.
Yeah,
of
I
it,
kinda
just to
just
get an
wanna see
idea.
it. Yeah.
You know, because this is our only hope for
Competition.
real competition
Right.
in wrestling. You know, WWE has been the king of the hill for
Long time.
the last
Basically running unopposed.
18 years.
Yeah.
18 years since WCW got bought. So, I mean, it's been a long time.
Competition drives quality.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was a sophomore in high school and now I'm
You old ass bitch.
a dirty old man.
This
So,
is something dirty.
yeah. And just to put this in contrast, I don't know any of the financials of this deal, but again, showing what kind of business wrestling can be, WWE agreed to a 5-year, $1 billion deal with Fox.
It's not going to be that.
to move SmackDown. No, it's not going to be that.
It's not going to be that, but it's definitely not chump change.
But here's the thing, you know, the Khan family doesn't need that. What they need is a place to expose the product.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
And I think TNT had the highest rating wrestling show for 83 weeks, you know, and 83 weeks is a pretty good little run. you know. 83 straight weeks of beating the big dogs. So,
yeah.
you know, hopefully, I'm not even going to say hopefully. I think that most assuredly, you know, the Khan family are not going to make the same mistakes that the old WCW did. I think that they're going to be a little bit more conservative with the money. They're going to demand more of their talent. They're not going to let anybody run roughshod.
No.
you
Yeah,
know-
they've got the pockets to do what they want to do.
Yeah, I would
the way
say
they want to do it.
Yeah, I think it's easy to, you know, quite easy to say that the biggest talent that they have is Chris Jericho. And he seems very, very, he's doing this character thing where he's like, you're welcome for getting the TNT deal. And, you know, he's a heel.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job. It's actually a lot of fun to watch, but he's going to be wrestling Kenny Omega. I can't wait for that fucking match. Oh, that's going to be so good. I think that might be the main event. But on the outside of it, he's like, you know, I'm just here to work. I'm here to help these guys.
He
And-
likes it. He believes in it.
Yeah.
He wants to be a part of its success.
Yeah. He's like, you know, the easy thing would have been to re-sign with WWE, go back there. But the thing is, where am I going to go with WWE?
Yeah.
You know, how much more do I, you know, he was the first undisputed champion. He was the guy, we talk about WWE buying WCW. He is the guy who unified the titles.
Yeah.
The two
Yeah.
world titles. He was the
After
first.
not getting his shot in WCW.
Exactly. WCW misused him, and then he
Yeah.
went to WWF and just blasted past everybody on a rocket ship. You know, and good for him. Dude's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, he seems
I
like
love him.
he's a great guy, but he's also an amazing wrestler. Even now, even in his late 40s, he is wrestling some of the best matches of his career. And you can give some of the credit to Kenny Omega for that. You know, guys like that and Okada and a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
He's getting to wrestle a lot of the guys you've never seen him go up against. And you're going to get to see that Saturday when he takes on Kenny Omega, you know, for the second time, but still, you know, it's going to be the first time for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So, I think that about wraps it up. So next week, again, top 5 Batman. Spence, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm
Spence?
here.
Okay. I put Spence to sleep. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah, we
guys.
did.
Once we
I
talk
just-
wrestling,
I didn't
we
really
kinda
have
clock
much
out.
to say on all of it. I mean, I don't watch wrestling, so
Thank you for listening to Joe Jab.
yeah.
Joe Jabber. Yeah, top 5 Batman next week. And then I think next week we will also have, you know, we'll do a Double or Nothing review. I think that would
Okay,
probably be
yeah.
a good idea. And we'll have a couple of other happy things. So before we take off, do you have anything, Brandon?
Just Amazon is offering $10,000 to their employees to quit and
Yes.
open a delivery service.
I did see that. Yeah.
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 Yep.
I think that they're trying to get away from UPS and FedEx.
Yes,
and
they're
Postal
trying to get
Service.
different branches so they can expand their 1-day and same-day delivery services.
Do you want a bold prediction? You know how everybody's talking about the impending death of the post office?
Yeah.
I think the Amazon will probably acquire the Postal Service.
That'd
Because
be crazy.
the
Well, we pissed off libertarians, but now we can make them happy.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Amazon already has their own logistics company.
Yeah, they
there are
do.
a lot of times whenever you order 1-day deliveries, it's usually delivered by Amazon.
Yeah.
It's just a guy in a fucking car
Yeah, it is.
that drives up, drops it on your porch, takes a picture, and leaves.
I do like the picture.
See, we don't have
Yeah.
that here. Or we don't have it in Columbus,
You're too far south.
too far south. But we
Yeah.
still get 1-day delivery, but it's FedEx overnight.
I can actually get same day.
Yeah, I know.
I love that.
I've
As
done
long
that
as
here.
as long as it's coming out of the Plainfield
Yeah. Right.
warehouse,
Yeah.
and I do it very early in the morning. If I do it, can't remember. I think it was something for the show. I ordered at like 9:30 in the morning, and I had it by like 5 p.m. that day.
Oh, nice.
It was an 8-hour delivery time.
Can I just drive over and get it?
Yeah, exactly.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I would too.
honestly,
Well,
if they give
I mean,
me
in
that
New
option.
York,
Ring the
they have the
doorbell out
lockers.
front.
It's a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
He really
What
should
do
just
you
put
want?
a storefront on the front of all their warehouses.
Some
shit.
do. In New York, they have a storefront in one of their warehouses.
That would make
and they
sense
also
there.
have lockers in the warehouse where you literally just drive to the warehouse, open your locker with the keypad, and get your stuff and go.
They have Amazon lockers all over Indy.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I have
awesome.
not seen that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There's actually an option to, again, depending on which warehouse, and it depends on your delivery method and whether or not you're a Prime member. I don't
Yeah.
think non-Prime members can get it. But you can pick a Amazon locker and they give you a code. You go to there, unlock it.
Yeah.
Get your
Pretty
shit.
cool.
Get your shit and get out.
When I was in San Francisco, I forgot some headphones. So I literally had it delivered to a locker that was like right next to the office.
Yeah.
And it was there within an hour and a half.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was sweet.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I want to hate Amazon,
I
but
hate to love them.
We're gonna have drone delivery, in a few years.
Google
anyway,
recently
so.
started theirs.
well, I know Amazon has really been pushing for drone delivery,
Yeah.
but I know that
I think that's going to be tough.
Well, in other countries, it started. I said Google. I don't remember. I don't know why I said that. One company it wasn't Amazon. That's why I thought Google for some reason. But they've started their drone deliveries, and we'll see. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're like, what if somebody shoots it down? It's like, that motherfucker's going to have cameras on it from front to
Yeah.
back. And,
Oh, yeah.
like
Yes.
it's going to have GPS trackers. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're going to fly cross country.
And it's
They're gonna
not
fly-
surveillance.
Yeah.
And that's the
No.
other thing. People, what if they look in my backyard? Well, what if
Well,
you
then
have to
don't be
hide?
fucking naked in your backyard. If they were like peeping
This is
into your
America, Joe.
if they,
I popped real bad.
you
there.
Yeah,
did,
dude.
yeah.
I could hear that.
I'm going to have to bring that down a
They'll
little
probably
bit.
have like predetermined flight paths and stuff like that too. So there'll
Yeah, they
be
would have to.
probably as
Yeah.
little human interaction as possible.
Well, and then
And
they
air
got to
traffic
deal with
interaction, too.
exactly.
I mean, think about it. If I ordered something from Amazon and it was at Plainfield and it flew over here, it would probably only be up about maybe 300 feet.
Yeah.
Because people were like, what if airplanes run into it? They're not going to. They don't
Right.
fly that low in this area. They don't fly that low until they're like right up on the fucking airport.
Right.
Yeah.
They start descending here, but they're not going to go that low.
There's a couple of airports in the middle there that are smaller with more smaller planes, but at the same point,
But they're
they
still
would
not-
they
yeah.
would reroute around.
Well,
Well,
those
I
are
mean,
no-fly zones,
we-
so they wouldn't be able to do that.
Exactly, yeah.
anyways.
We see commercial planes flying
yeah,
above us all
yeah.
the time just because they start descending right around here
Yeah.
before they go into
But you have like Greenwood airports, kind of what I was thinking.
Columbus Airport.
Municipal.
Yeah.
Municipal. Thank you.
Yeah.
so.
And then they get.
But
tongue-tied.
they would just have to go around that shit.
Yeah.
That's,
And
that's
they would
already
have to anyways.
built into it.
But here's the thing: it's not going to have to go around that shit because it's not going to fly that high. They're
Yeah.
only going to be. I mean,
Well, it's still
it would
considered
still
a
have to
no-fly
go
zone.
around that
maybe
shit.
helicopters, maybe, but
It would have
because
to go around
choppers
that.
don't go
Yeah,
too high.
they have to go around airports because they're no-fly zones.
Yeah, you got taking and landing off.
Yeah.
So where I work at
taking
here in
off and landing.
Pensacola, I'm actually only about half a mile away from their airport here, like the big one that flights come in and out of all the time. And the planes are so loud when they're coming down that even inside the building with the ovens and all that stuff on, I can hear the planes coming down or taking off.
Oh, yeah, they're fucking loud.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
airplanes, Spence. They have big engines.
I always like to play a game and try to figure out whether it's either a plane or somebody's system.
Oh, is that something they're still doing in Florida?
Not
yeah.
here.
Systems.
We like to play a game called Aeronautics or Ghetto.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay.
Was that a DC-12 or is that two 12-inch subs?
Spence, you got anything?
Yeah, did you get a chance to check out the trailer for Batman Hush, the animated
Yes,
movie?
I did.
I did not.
And I got a chance to watch about the first half hour of Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
How is
It
it?
was good, was it not?
So far, I haven't been able to watch the whole thing yet, but I will tell you right now, towards the very beginning, no spoilers, there is a fight that I have been dreaming to see my entire life since I was a wee lad. And it's Batman versus the Shredder.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you want to talk about
Where is this?
a
Where can I see
nerd
this?
boner moment? We got you.
Okay, okay.
So anyway, is that all, Spence?
But yeah, Batman Hush has a pretty big star cast. Jason O'Mara, I know the name. I know he's voiced Batman a few times, but it's also got Jerry O'Connell as Superman, Rebecca Romaine, a former Mystique, playing Lois Lane.
Yep.
Rainn Wilson's going to be Lex Luthor.
Nice.
That's the cast that DC Universe has been using for a while, though. I mean, because Jason O'Mara, I mean, shit, he was Batman going back to Son of Batman and Batman versus Robin and a couple of
Okay, yeah.
and also the Batman Ninja Turtle movie. He's in that as well.
Nice.
And then Jerry O'Connell's been doing Superman for a while as well. And Rainn
See, I didn't
Wilson's
realize
been
that. I
doing
thought it
Lex
was.
Luthor.
I didn't know Rainn Wilson had been doing him.
Yeah, what did I see that they were? Oh, Death of Superman.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
Reign of the Supermen. He's in both of those as Lex Luthor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that, and I watched Reign of Superman recently.
He has a good superhero movie too.
It's one of those things that if you listen to Lex Luthor talk,
Idiot.
if you didn't if you didn't know it was Rainn Wilson, it would be kind of hard to put your finger on.
Yeah.
But since you know, you can hear he's voice
nuances.
acting. He's not
Yeah.
just talking in his regular voice.
Right.
So you can hear little ticks. It's kind of like John DiMaggio doing the Joker.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Under the Red
Yeah.
Hood. There's moments where it's like he sounded like Bender,
Yeah.
but then
I
he was
thought
also
sounded more like Flexo, but that's okay.
I think. Damn it! Now that's gone through my head. By the way, he is my second favorite animated Joker after Mark Hamill.
Okay. Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
John
he's up there.
DiMaggio's. Yeah, he's amazing. Michael Emerson does a really good job as well. But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. Is that it, Spence?
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because you touched on Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I didn't
Touch
have
Batman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got this top five. We got this top five list that we're doing next week. We'll everybody watch Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
It is available digitally.
Okay.
But,
I get you.
we
You don't
will-
have to keep winking.
He likes to wink at you.
I got it.
Do you got anything else?
Oh, I don't.
You're
Shazam.
good. All right. So we'll see you guys next week. That's Nerd Jab for this week. I'm Joe.
Brandon.
I'm Justin.
Vince.
Have a good night, everybody.